Welcome to Marath, Will of the Wild, some Will of the Hydra. As far as opening hand goes, yes, I'm going to keep on this one in a heartbeat. We've got Hardened Scales in the hand, got a Hydra, and then we also have Cultivate. So wonderful. Wonderful turn one play, and then we get some good Hydras going. I'm just going to lead off with the Savannah. That sounds good. Get the Savannah down, go for Hardened Scales, tap out for green. There we go. And then we're going to go and pass the turn. We were playing Marath, Will of the Wild. Whenever Marath enters the battlefield, enters the battlefield with a number of +1 counters equal to the amount of mana spent to cast it. We'll cover what those abilities do. Let's go and lead off with the Cinder Glade, because we have nothing we need to do for 2. Then we're going to go and pass the turn. Remove X counters from Marath, put X counters on target creature, deal damage to target creature or player, and then create an XX elemental creature token. X cannot be 0 on all of those. Playing against the Whispering one. Swamp Walk, at the beginning of your upkeep, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, that player, sacrifices a creature. Draw into Misty. Let's go and get the Misty down. Windswept Heath. We're going to crack the Windswept Heath. Do we want to go for Marath? If one or more counters on there, yeah, I think we may end up going for that. Let's grab another red source. We'll grab a white source off the Misty if we need to. We'll go red-white. I think that'd be a good split. We'll go for Plateau. Yeah, let's go and do that. Let's go for Marath. We might be walking into some removal, but if we are, we've got Cultivate to go for, and then we can go for that, get some good mana going. Let's do that. Let's go red. Helps if we tap for green on this one. It's going to be white, green, and then red. Get Marath going. Like I said, if they have some sort of spot removal, that's going to have Marath coming back as a few more counters, and we can use Cultivate to kind of get some counters going. So I'm okay with that interaction. And then we can get the Mauler out and get some, start getting 2 counters on there every time our opponent casts a spell. That'll be pretty good. Now, as far as this particular build of Marath, this is Marath Hydras. You may notice Protean Hydra in the hand, and then we've got the Mauler in here. This is a kind of a light. We're not going super heavy like combo Marath. There's not really, I don't have a lot of redundancy in here, other than going for a bunch of Hydra. Oh, bummer. Opponent goes for Duress. We're going to miss out on the Cultivate. Knew should have gone for that. But that happens sometimes. We still have the Hydra and the Mauler to get down to, which is going to apply some pressure on our opponent, so I'll be okay with that. And especially with the Sacrifice ability from the Whispering one. We can get around that with some tokens on the battlefield, so we can make that work. But it is a bummer missing out on Cultivate. We should have gone for that, but we'll make it work. But yeah, as far as the deck goes, we're running a bunch of Hydras in here, and then stuff like Hardened Scales to take advantage of the counters. Another good fun card in here, we got Forgotten Ancient, which is a lot of fun. I always forget how good that card is. You know, it's whenever a player casts a spell, and then you can move those counters around, which is just absolutely delightful. All right, Savage-Born Hydra. Let's go ahead and get the Misty down. And let's go and do this. Let's go and push in for 4. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go and push in for 4. If our opponent wants to chop block, they can. And then we can go and ping Dark Confidant for 1. We do not want our opponent to get some really good card draw going, so I'm okay with that. Swinging for 4. Going to put our opponent down to 26. I want to keep that card draw away, mainly. And then we'll go ahead and crack the Misty. Actually, I kind of like Savage-Born. No, let's go for the Hydra. Yeah, I like that. Okay. We do have another red source in the hand, so let's go and grab that. Do we want to grab another red-white source? Let's go and grab the Temple Garden. We'll go and shock this one in. I'm going to have another green-white source. Shock that in. Let's go and go for the Hydra for 2. We'll get an additional counter on there. Hydra's going to be 2. And then we can also ping Dark Confidant before we pass it over to our opponent. Let's go and do that now. Deals damage to Dark Confidant for 1. So we're going to remove 1/+1 counter. Ping Dark Confidant. As much as I love Dark Confidant, you can see my avatar. I respect Dark Confidant. We need to get him off the battlefield as quickly as possible. All right, then we're going to go and pass the turn. Now, the fun thing with the Protean Hydra is that enters the battlefield X counters. Damage would be dealt to it, prevent that damage, remove that many counters from it. And then whenever a +1 counter is removed from it, put 2 on it at the beginning of the next end step. Ooh, opponent's going to go for a Phyrexian Obliterator. Whenever a source deals damage, whenever a source deals combat damage, whenever a source deals damage to a Phyrexian Obliterator, that source sacrifices that many permanents. Okay, so we're looking at a 5/5 body coming across. Let's go and get the Rootbound Crag down. We don't really want to push in at this point right now. We do get a double strike down, so we're at least going to be able to stop the Phyrexian Obliterator. Or we could kind of get some tokens on the battlefield to kind of fight the Phyrexian Obliterator. Let's do this. Let's go for the Savage-Born Hydra. It's going to be red-green, and then 1, 2, 3. There we go, 1, 2, 3. Get down the Savage-Born Hydra. It's going to enter the battlefield as a 4/4. and then 4/4 double strike, and then we're going to go and pass the turn. So it does have trample. So basically with the Phyrexian Obliterator, whenever we deal damage to it, we're going to have to sacrifice that many permanents. What we can do is we can get it in the spots where Savage Board Hydras can at least be able to stop the Phyrexian Obliterator. I'd like to get a few more tokens going, so that way we can start sacrificing with the Phyrexian Obliterator. It also puts us in a spot to where, if we just simply pay 3 mana to get those 3 tokens onto the battlefield, recast Marath, then we can start dealing some damage to Phyrexian Obliterator and kind of get around that clause. Or if we draw into one of our spot removals, something like Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshare, that'd be a good draw for us to kind of get rid of Phyrexian Obliterator, kind of keeping us. Target player sacks a creature. Okay, so I guess at this point, I'm going to get rid of Marath. Yeah, I'm fine with that. We'll send Marath back to the command zone. And then we're looking at a 5/5 body coming across, so we've got some time. We've got about 4 or 5 turn clock going off of that. And we get into spots where if we can get enough counters on the Protean Hydra, we might be able to win with the Mauler. And, and also our opponent's not swinging in, so that's definitely good. So it kind of puts us on maybe on the Arya game plan, which would be kind of fun to go for that win condition. Let's get down the Grove of the Burn Willows. And do we want to go for Marath or get down Mauler in that one? Let's go and go for the Mauler. We want to get some more creatures going. Tap that for black. That way they don't gain some life. Tap for one more. Get on the Mauler, and let's go and get down Mael's Arya. It's going to be red, the white, and then green. Excuse me, already tapped for red. Get down Arya, and then we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Not going to swing in, and we'll just kick it over there to them. Now, they do have Bitter Blossom down on the battlefield, so it's going to be a little bit hard for us to kind of push past some of those creatures. Our Savage Born Hydra has Double Strike. Unfortunately, none of these creatures have Trample, so if they get enough Bitter Blossom triggers going, that'll be good enough. But with the 2 ability to activate on the Savage Born Hydra, we can start paying 2 mana, basically to put 2 counters on there. So we can do, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can actually make it a 10/10 in response to that trigger at the beginning of our upkeep. So we can gain a little bit of life and then slowly start working towards that. I'm just going to go for Collective Brutality. Target creature gets -2 until end of turn. Target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Okay. Yes, we're going to use that ability. Make it a 4/4 body. And that's going to put it down to basically a 2/2. So that might have been a miscalculation potentially by our opponent. I don't know. Go for that -2 ability. Maybe I forgot about that, the hardened scales and the other thing. All right, they're going to pass the turn back over. Do we want to dump our hand for the Savage Born Hydra? No, we have to do it as a sorcery, excuse me. So we'll have to do that during our main phase. All right, get the Arya trigger and draw into Imperial Recruiter. Yeah, let's go ahead and go for that. We just want to gunk up the board state as bad as possible. So let's go on Imperial Recruiter. And then what we can do is we can go for Primordial Hydra. And that's going to be definitely a great way to start going for Arya. I think I like that. Now, if our opponent does have spot removal, that will kind of put us in a weird spot. But we've got enough stuff going to where it's going to be A-okay. Let's just make sure that's what we want to go for. So we have Primordial Hydra, Hooded Hydra, Forgotten Ancient. Yeah, I think I like that. Let's go for Primordial Hydra. We can get it down for 1. It's going to come in with additional counter from the Hardened Scales. So let's go and tap 1 on the plateau. X is going to be 1, but we'll get 2 counters from that. All right, and once again, we're just going to go ahead and pass the turn because we're kind of in this weird holding pattern with the Phyrexian Obliterator. All right, we're going to go ahead and pass the turn to our opponent. And that's the good thing, though, is that, if our opponent does get the sacrifice ability going, and now we're finally in a good spot where we can get Marath on the battlefield and start getting some extra elemental tokens to kind of get a little bit of insurance policy. But I think as far as I'm concerned right now, we're going to go for Arya. I like that. We're going to get in a spot where we can gain that life, that 10 life. It's going to completely negate those fairy rogue tokens out there. Opponent is sitting at 5 total mana, so a little far away from the Whispering One at this point right now. See if they make the land drop on the back end. Glad we did take care of Dark Confidant so that we're not getting the card draw going. Be pretty good. But yes, and also happy birthday to Ian. Requested this deck for his birthday, but I did not have enough time to get it done and get it built, and so I pushed it to my Friday release. So, but yes, happy birthday and thank you for suggesting it. Yes, we're going to use that ability. It's going to end up as a 6/6, but oh, that is brutal. That is brutal. All right, so we got to restack or re-rack on this one. Oh, that language was just nasty. Ooh, but with Marath, I like that a lot. All right, let's go and go for Parallel Lives. Yeah, I like that. Go and tap the Grove of the Burn Willows for 1. And that's going to give us some nice elemental tokens. Okay, that's a nice draw. Good way to kind of bounce back from that. All right, anything else? We're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. We're just going to leave the Mauler up at this point right now. Opponent's only sitting at 1 card in the hand. And then, I had dreams in my head of that Primordial Hydra getting to a 2020 and then winning the game with the Arya. So it's unfortunate, though. And I think with the Arya, let's go and make sure that you win the game if you control a creature. Yes, only one creature to power 20 or greater. So it's always fun putting stuff like that in commander decks that, you know, it's not our main win condition, but if you can get it online, really fun. I don't know, it's just fun to get an alternative win condition. All right, opponent's not going to swing in with the Obliterator. Looks like we're probably going to be on the Marath game plan. And we are online for the Mauler, so we're going to be gaining that live too, puts us at 33. Let's go to get the Temple of Plenty down. Get the Scry, the Scurry. Ooh, Path to Exile, exactly what we needed. Put that on top. Let's go and Windmill Slam Marath onto the battlefield. It's going to be 5 total mana. Tap for black. It's going to be red, white off that one, and tap for 1 more. Okay, get Marath on the battlefield. It's going to be a 6/6. Anything else? No, I think we're going past the turn. So with that 6/6, with that Path to Exile on top, we're finally going to be able to deal with Phyrexian Obliterator, and then we're going to slowly start making these tokens. In fact, we're going to take 1 off Marath to get a 1/1 on the battlefield. I'd like to, yeah, if we do that, create an XXL where X is 0. So we can get a 1/1, but that's really going to... All right, opponent's going to scoop it up. I'm probably still going to go and post this video. Okay, sorry for the weird edit. Our opponent kind of scooped really quick, and I'm not really sure why. I mean, the game wasn't over, but we did have Path to Exile on top of our library, so we're going to be able to take care of the Phyrexian Obliterator. And then after that, we're going to untap with the Arya. We have Hardened Scales to get down. And to kind of get around the Bitter Blossom, what we can do with Marath is we can use that X ability for 2 and get a 2/2 elemental creature token. So what we could have done is we could start paying 2 for that and getting double creatures on the battlefield. That would allow us to start pushing in past those very rogue tokens. And our opponent was just kind of in a draw-go state. So I guess they didn't really draw what they wanted, or they're frustrated with not hitting their land drops for getting down the Whispering one. But I think that's what it was. Our opponent scooped up on that one. But I'm going to go and count it as a win. That was a... played around Phyrexian Obliterated the whole game, and we got some good stuff going, kind of survived a languish, and then kind of bounced back with Parallel Lives on Marath, really kind of unleashing the 2/2 tokens. So if you think about it, it's going to be 2, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You end up with about 6 tokens on the battlefield, 2/2s, push past those Fairy Rogues, and then we're slowly start working towards that the Mauler, getting towards the Arya, getting that additional life total gain. So, but yeah, so with Path to Exile on top and getting those tokens going Parallel Lives, I'm going to throw that in the win column. But yeah, sorry for the weird edit. Opponent scooped, and sometimes the game kind of shifts over to my desktop. So wanted to preserve the game state. But if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.